So my first video was, I think, 3 or 4 pages into the piece. I don't know why I started there to actually learn to play it. And yeah, there's actually a bit of a problem because, as you see, if you watch that video, as I added that chord at the beginning, my fingering had changed because I'd learned it as a instead of a. So I had to change to the 4th finger. Turned out, made a better articulation, so I was kind of happy with that. But shouldn't be doing that, to be honest, because you lose a lot of time and you build bad reflexes and bad habits. So what I should have done, obviously, is before starting that section, play 2 or 3 notes beforehand, both hands, just to figure out what's happening before the actual section I want to practice. So I'm prepared that when I play the 2 sections together, there's nothing of a shock that I'm like, oh, I have an octave jump there, or I have a chord there, I have a different position. So yeah, amateur mistake, sorry. But good to know, good to prepare, because I'm going to be working, I think, moving around in sections. I don't want to just play one after the other. I want to find what I find interesting for the day and go practice that part, which I think is the point of practicing and playing. We should enjoy and have fun. But for now, I think I should start with the beginning. As I said before in the last video, I'm using I have the scores of Bach's original manuscript for violin, Brahms's Left Hand for piano, Busoni's Ciccone, his last edition, and the 2 violin arrangements from Frederick Lipps and Vyacheslav Semenov. So the beginning's quite interesting because when it's played on the violin, it's across the string. So if you're interested about this piece, sorry, I should always say it's the last movement of the violin Partita number 2 in D minor by Bach, most commonly known as the Ciccone, or the last movement is called the Ciccone. Interesting because it's actually longer than the rest of the partita. So it's played on a violin, so obviously the register will be much higher than the accordion. And the way it's played, so across the strings, the notes can't be played at the same time because of the limitation of the violin. So for Brahms and Busoni, what they did is they lowered it a octave and put it in the left hand. Busoni keeps the opening couple of measures exactly like Brahms. I think probably as a tribute. He could have doubled up an octave or something like this, but he didn't. And then Lipps has done exactly the same. And Semenov actually has changed things a little bit, adding a pedal tone. So I'm going to be speaking a little bit about what obviously people have put in transcriptions. Please remember it's not for this instrument, and everyone has different personal tastes. So I want to make a transcription that's using all the work that they've already done and kind of tailor it to me, and then I'll choose in between what I think is the best sound for this instrument in this setup. Obviously the piano accordion and the quint 8-row free bass. So there will be some possibilities that I can't do in the right hand with the piano keyboard, but also some possibilities that the bind doesn't have that I have in the quint. The opportunity to do easy arpeggios and also to hold multiple octaves over 2. So just very quickly, let's have a look at the notes of the opening. We have these. So that was Lipps's version. It's pretty note for note, I believe, from Busoni's, except the left hand is the right hand overwards on the piano. I didn't play in the right register, I'm sorry. It would be this. that's what that would sound like. Was it Semyonov added 3, and he added a pedal tone, which is the same register. So let's see how that sounds. Change the note there, it has the E instead of the C sharp, so and fills out the harmony. Okay, so those are the two options we have for piano, for violin. So I'm not sure if I like to have anything more than a bassoon, or maybe one. Yeah, the piece is 15 minutes long, and that's a lot. And because of the piano system, I'm going to have to change the registers. So I prefer at the beginning to start with less and build up, because I want to give the impression that it's common to have multiple registers and single registers. Because if we have a master, it's really, compared to a violin switch, it's really quite a big difference. And how do we get to that register without sounding shocking? So I think to start with less might help a little bit. Either a single bassoon or a bassoon and one clarinet. I really like actually that Semyonov does use the pedal. I think Lips adds it later in the next repeat of the 8 bars later, but I think it fills out the. So now I have the option to drop, because with the quint system, C is the lowest note. So it could also be. I think that's too low. So there's something that I would like to do. I would like to probably double, because when you have all these chords, probably there as well. So there's going to be a lot of mistakes, I should warn you, as I'm reading things. So probably I like to double up some notes in the score, not go too low on the octave, because although it sounds very powerful, it's a bit too much. So for what I prefer at the moment is just. So that's the first variation. I have to think a little bit about how I'd want to play it, and if those notes are correct, I have to fix that jump, how I get there. But kind of happy. I don't think that it should be too aggressive for the sound, because it's from a violin and it's bowed. So I don't think I don't think there can be very much attack. But also, secondly, I prefer, like I mentioned before, that this is a piece of 15 minutes. And this theme comes in 2 more times, so it has room to add registers, add more force or attack or articulation, and to let it develop. So I'm going to practice this a little bit and might come back to the theme tomorrow and see if anything's changed, or I keep it like that. Have a good day.